Mike Marcel Louis Jacques with ESPN. Welcome to Miami.
That's my fifth welcome to Miami, and I'm feeling welcome.
I'd say just trying to make you feel comfortable.
That's what I mean. I'm just waiting for you to bust out some welcome to Miami and then finish the verse.
I'm not going to do that right now, but maybe later on.
Gotcha.
Oh, I think people are going to like Mike McDaniel, head coach of the Miami Dolphins. This is Interesting to See, your daily sports podcast, news, narratives, takes, and gambling. It is Super Friday. It is time to tell your bosses that you have had a COVID exposure and just letting them know you might be sick in a couple days. We're going to get to some Olympics and whatnot, but we're going to start with the National Basketball Association before we do Super Bowl. Some shit went down yesterday in the association. It was trade deadline day, and I got to hold on, let me pull up a trade deadline tracker because I have some tweets, but I totally forgot to do the other trades because there's one that was so big, it's going to dominate everything, and it is happening today. Ben Simmons, former first overall pick of the Philadelphia 76ers and Rookie of the Year and superstar at playing basketball but not scoring, has been traded from the Sixers along with, this trade is wild. Let's just make sure I get the facts right because he has been traded to the Nets. In return, the Sixers get James Harden. The Sixers are sending Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, which we'll talk about him in a second, Andre Drummond, and 2 first-round picks to the Brooklyn Nets in exchange for 13-time All-NBA player James Harden and the guy who pisses every old man off with how he plays the game. Now, this is so insulting for Benjamin because this means that Ben, former first overall pick and Rookie of the Year, is not worth a straight-up trade for James Harden. Not only that, he plus a first is not enough, and he plus 2 firsts is not enough, and he plus a backup center is not enough, and he plus a sharp-shooting 6-man is not enough. That's what it took to get James Harden, who's old. Man, rock bottom for Ben Simmons. I saw yesterday on Twitter that tickets for the Brooklyn Nets at Philadelphia 76ers went from about $90, the game is in March, to about $500 in the span of minutes. Ben Simmons should call out sick for that game. It's not going to be a fun day for him. More interestingly, James Harden and Joel Embiid, when they play each other, when James was with the Rockets, they really hated each other. It was like an on-court hate, and now it's like WWE supervillains. Kane and The Undertaker are teaming up. Ooh-rah-rah. Huge trade in the NBA. There are other trades. Let's see. I just want to run this down real quick to see if any of them are interesting at all. Oh, yeah. The Kristaps Porzingis has been traded from the Mavs to the Wizards. He was traded from the Knicks to the Mavs, and then they got Luka, and now they're like, hey, you're not really working out for us. Anything else? Michael Bagley, I forget how to pronounce his name. He goes to the Pistons in a weird 4-team deal that doesn't make any sense to anybody. No, nothing else of note in the NBA trade deadline. Not in my opinion. Can you pull it up? There we go. Look at that. There we go. There are all the trades. Who cares? Great. So the Ben Simmons James Harden thing is going to be the one, and it's going to be interesting. The Sixers are reasonable title contenders now, so it's going to be fun to see how they screw it up. Okay. Moving right along, let's get to the NFL Hall of Fame class for this year, which was announced. Hall of Famers include Tony Baselli, don't know who that is. Cliff Branch, don't know who that is. Leroy Butler, I remember you, Leroy, defensive back. Art McNally, Sam Mills, Richard Seymour. People don't talk enough about Richard Seymour, freak of nature. Head football coach Dick Vermeil, and Bryant Young. Some of these names I recall. We'll bring it up there for those of you watching on the interwebs. Obviously, Dick Vermeil I know, Seymour I know, Tony Baselli is someone that I kind of remember. I remember Leroy Butler, but it's just interesting how the Hall of Fame works because I started really paying attention to the NFL in 2008, and this is how it goes in the Hall of Fame. Sometimes there are classes where there are really good lunch pail guys that need to get in, so they get in, but they don't go with the huge posterized, massive Hall of Fame class. Like, say, for example, last year. So last year's class, let's see if I can get this correct. Tom Flores, remember the former head coach of the Raiders, Calvin Johnson, John Lynch, Peyton Manning, Drew Pearson, Charles Woodson. So those are huge superstars. This year's Hall of Fame class is not quite the same as that, but also I started covering the NFL much later, so this is just like a hey young man, learn your lesson kind of moment for me, and I eventually will do that, I'm sure. We'll have the entire summer to do that. There'll be the Hall of Fame game, and the speeches and whatnot, and all that's going to happen. But I don't know who any of these people are, except for a handful of them, and like a handful of things about them. So this is a good moment for me to be educated, to be honest with you. Zach Thomas of the Dolphins was eligible and yet again did not get into the Hall of Fame. He is a tackle. This is his statement from the Dolphins. Quote, "It was an honor to once again be among the finalists for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I want to congratulate this year's class. They were all great players and are each deserving of their gold jacket. I also want to thank the Miami Dolphins fans who continue to be so supportive. You guys are the best." And people were really talking about him being rejected. It's like, it's time to get Zach Thomas in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We'll see. I mean, that statement to me means like he had it ready to go. He was super excited. Maybe this is the year. There's a backlog. Nobody knows what positions are valuable. It's a whole mess right now in the NFL Hall of Fame. I'm going to bring up this picture as we transition into the Super Bowl. This picture right here shows what Super Bowl logos used to look like. Now, if we scroll down a tad, you see what they look like now. And in 2010, they just became the same thing. Just a silver blocks. It's very dystopian and sad. But back in the day, they used to have personality. Look at 2001. Look at that America across right there. I remember this one, 97. That was a Broncos Super Bowl. This one's in New Orleans. Like, these Super Bowls have personality. Look at all those cool logos. Like, this is about the town that it's in. Does this say LA to you? Look at that down there. Garbage. That makes me sad. Like, what are we doing? No, what they're trying to do is like not be offensive, and that's annoying and stupid. Speaking of offensive, Russian teen figure skater had a positive test for doping in December, and now the team gold medal for Russia is at stake. Oh, color me shocked. You don't say. This is from the Wall Street Journal. There she is. Her name is Kamila Valieva. She's 15. She looks super athletic to me. She looks like she doesn't have to recover a lot from her workouts. Crazy. Yeah, so Russia cheating. Fascinating. Saw this. This was funny. This is a nice. You want a little nice? I'll give you a nice. Burke Rudd, who is Norwegian, or it might be Rude, he won some sort of snowboarding finalist, and the judges unanimously gave him, every judge gave him the same score, 69. Nice. He's a gold medalist at 69, which is nice. That's fun. The Olympics are fun sometimes. The Olympics can definitely be fun. We'll do some video game news real quick. Battlefield, which is one of the greatest video games ever played. Computer gamers really love it. Battlefield 2042, the new game that came out, has 80,000 signatures from players who hate it and want their money back. Dude, it's what everybody, video games are sort of like, well, literally like anything. Anytime like an app changes and everybody's mad, like I like the old app. But when a video game comes out, everybody hates it, but they kind of come around to it. This is bad. This is hilarious, and this is bad. 80,000 people signed is like, I want my money back, not like do better, not like more like I don't want to play this game anymore, which is of course pathetic. Let's get to the Super Bowl gambling portion of the show. We'll get you out of here quickly on a Friday. I'm gonna give my picks as everyone's been waiting with bated breath. The over/under is 48.5. The line is Rams -4 at FanDuelSportsbook.com. Let's play everyone's favorite game. Can Nick do math? 48.5. That's 49. 49 divided by 2 is 24.5 plus 2 on each side. So it's going to be 22 to 26. Somewhere in there. 22, 26, 23, 27. Right in that range. Is that right? 23, 27 is 4 points, 50. Yeah, so 22, 26, 23, 27. It's exactly. I nailed it. Oh, my God, I nailed it. I absolutely nailed it. The money line is -198 for the Rams. And I, as a betting man, the Rams are an easy choice for me. My opinion is that this spread is bullshit and that this spread exists so that Vegas can goad a bunch of people into rooting for the underdog, which they do. People do that all the time. Now let's go through some Super Bowl specials because some of these are on board still. Some of them are not on boards anymore, but we're going to go through some Super Bowl specials. This is the best part. So first special. This is so much fun. I love doing this kind of stuff. Over/under commercials with dogs, 6.5. That's a lot, guys. That is a lot of dogs. It's a lot of commercials with dogs. That means, statistically, people did research into this. 1 out of every 7 or 8 commercials would have to have a dog. That's a lot. So I think what's going to happen here is that everybody wants to bet on the over for dogs. So the real number should probably be like at 4.5. But they moved it to 6.5 because they know idiots will bet the over. So I think there's money to be made betting the under. Also, there's some really interesting stuff. People have been doing research about all of this that I didn't know about. So the opening kick to be a touchback is normally a huge winner. But 16 of the last 18 Super Bowls have had a kickoff that was not a touchback. And do you know why? Because that ball is not allowed to be touched by either team, which is not usually the case. Usually, kickers and quarterbacks, they can do this with the game balls. They break them in, they scrub them, and they like throw them around, and they kick them, and they break them in. They put them on the – you see the kicker like squeezing it on the dirt and whatnot. They break it in. This one's not allowed to do that. Do you know why? Because after the kickoff, it's ran to the sideline and run right to the Hall of Fame, which is dumb. What are they doing with all these? This is the game. This is the ball from the Super Bowl, and now nothing happened. Nobody made a play with this. It was kicked. Except for the Devin Hester one, which, of course, was returned for a touchdown. So that is a good bet. That's a lot. I don't care what the odds are. I think it's like minus 150. It's about each. That's incredible odds. That is incredible odds. I love that. It's not going to be a touchback. First commercial to play. So here we have a bunch of head-to-head stuff. Which commercials will play first, Taco Bell or QuickBooks? I'm going to say QuickBooks. I haven't made any of these bets. These are just funny. These are new ones. I haven't seen these ones. Commercials to play first, Monday.com or WholeLogic. Don't care. I don't know what WholeLogic is. Oh, this is great. Which tech commercial will play first? Meta, which is Facebook, Amazon Prime Video, or Google? I'm going to say Meta because they're in damage control, but they're the heavy favorite. What? Maybe it'll be Prime Video. I'll say Prime Video because I think that they're trying to win some awards these days. Is this bet slip working? Boom. Is that going to work? Bet slip. Wait, hold on. Watch this. Do I have more? Bam. Let's do that. Yeah, so I like Amazon Prime Video. So look at some commercials. Color of Snoop Dogg's shoes at halftime. This is great. This is so much fun. Does Snoop Dogg smoke on stage? Yes or no? People overestimate how much he actually gets high. I think a lot of it is a bit. No, I mean, he gets high. But I think the Snoop Dogg being perma-high and smoking a lot of grass is also a huge bit that he does to be famous. He's way smarter than people give him credit for. I'm going to say no, he does not smoke on stage. Because he wants to get invited to like Martha Stewart and stuff. Halftime show, will a football be used as a prop? I don't really care about that one. Yes is a 290. Someone's going to throw it. I don't know. Okay, so here we go. Halftime show. Will any part of Eminem's performance be censored? Yes is minus 180. That's a heavy favorite. Will Eminem wear a hoodie or a hat? No, he won't. No way, Jose. No, he didn't wear one at the Oscars. That's plus 200. Love that bet. This is so much fun. Halftime show. Will Kendrick Lamar wear a hoodie? Let's get out of the wardrobe malfunctions. Oh, no. Does it have the songs to be played first? No. What happened to the songs? I'll look for those. Have they taken those off? There are 400 bets here, guys. This is bananas. All right, let's go back to FanDuel and do some actual football stuff. I love betting the Super Bowl because it's something that everybody in the room can get excited about. You know what I mean? And dumb stuff that people don't really care about. Like they don't really care about betting on football. People can get excited about this kind of stuff. The national anthem over-under is one of the lowest it's ever been at 95 seconds, if you can still find it. She's a country music star, and she got it done in 88 seconds in Washington, D.C. in May. So people are like, wow, what's going on? It's always smart to bet the under in the national anthem, and I'll tell you why. Because they get nervous and they start singing faster than they normally would sing. That's a real thing. I do love, from a football betting standpoint, I love alternate spreads. I think, like I said, this is a dummy line. I think this line is designed to get action on the Bengals. So I'm looking at alternate lines and odds right here. I think it's going to be more than a touchdown. I think the Rams are going to win by an enormous margin. So let's see. Looking for Rams, a very specific number. Here are the different spreads for the Rams. Rams minus 10.5. Did they not have that? There we go. So 8.5. What's the biggest line that I like? Rams minus 14.5. That's too much for me. 10.5 is plus 200. That's a big. So look at the difference on the covering the spread. A $5 bet here for the Rams to cover the spread gets me $446 in earnings. A $5 bet for them to cover, it gets plus 200. So after the whatever, it gets to $10. Like I think they're going to win big. I think the Rams are going to win big. Easy peasy. I mean, This seems like a dummy situation. I think that this is one of those Cinderella stories in the NFL where the clock strikes midnight. It's fun in the semifinals, but the cool thing never happens. Butler never wins the national championship. Boise State never makes the national championship. The cool thing never happens. The good teams are going to win. And I went through this, there are not a lot of Bengals that would start the Rams. I mean, I'm serious about that. Burrow, probably not, maybe. Jamar Chase would start on the Rams. Other than that, like, there aren't a lot of Bengals that would start on the Rams. And I think that is really damning. 2 or 3 of them would start. A couple defensive backs and maybe a defensive lineman. So, I mean, sometimes it is exactly what it looks like. Thanks for hanging out with me and enjoying all football season. Draft season is coming up. I'm also going to cover media, give out some podcast awards, and tell you who to listen to. We get more into the NHL and the NBA as the NBA trade deadline has passed. The Lakers didn't do anything. People laughing their asses off at the Lakers. The NHL getting ramped back up. We'll finish out this Olympic mess. And, of course, next week we'll be looking into the Super Bowl and the NFL draft. Got a lot of sports all the way up and through May and June. Stay with me and like, rate, review, subscribe, etc., etc.